Okay guys, today we're going to do the density portion of our lab. We're not going to do all of these, just the ones that are important that you really kind of need to figure out what minerals you have. So I'm going to create myself a little hanging paper clip here. So density is simply mass divided by volume. Mass is very easy. So I'm starting with mineral number 7 right now, okay? It had the black streak, this mineral 7. And I want to compare it to mineral number 9, which had the red streak, but is basically looks the same, right? So this is where density can really maybe help us out a little bit. So we're going to take this one here. This is number 7. We're going to put it on the scale. Okay. Our density, our mass is 74.73 grams. 74.73 grams. I'm just keeping tabs on that. To figure out my volume, I need to do a little trick here. And the trick is that 1 milliliter of water is exactly equal, or sorry, 1 gram of water is exactly equal to 1 milliliter. So that's a convenient thing about the metric system. So to pull this off, I need to know the mass of my beaker first. So I'm gonna mass my beaker. Now I'm gonna write this number down because I'm gonna use this number every single time. So I'm just gonna put mass of empty beaker, so I can remember. This is 50.54 grams. Okay, now what I need to do next is figure out the volume of this thing. So volume is a little difficult because I can't measure that. There's not equal sides, it's not a rectangle, there's no way to really measure that, so I'm going to figure out its volume and do that by seeing how much water it displaced. This is a drippy cup, and we're going to fill this. Okay. So this is filled with water now. Let it settle. And this little tube out the side is going to spout some water when I let go of this thing. There we go. I'm going to let that run out. So it's just getting it to the level of the hole on the inside. Now I'm going to dump that. So that's not the water I care about. I want to know how much water is displaced by the actual mineral. So my next step is to set up this mineral in a fashion that I can measure it. So a rubber band's not going to have much volume, nor is the paper clip. So it shouldn't mess up my experiment too much here. There we go. Now I'm just going to dip this guy. Try not to shake it around too much. When it's done, I take it out. Now I need to know what my new mass is. Put this back over here. And my new mass is 66.83. 66.83 is my mass. So I'm going to move this out of the way here. I'm going to take this away from that. So I need to take 66.81 is where it's at right now, minus that. And that'll give me the mass of water that I have in there, which is the same as my milliliters here. I just need to grab a calculator to pull this off. Calculator's my phone, it makes it hard. There we go. Okay, so we're going to take 66.81 minus 50.54. Okay, so this is the volume and also the mass of the water I displaced, 16.27. Okay, and that's actually milliliters. Even though I measured in grams, it'd be the same. So now all I do is I'm going to take 74 4.73 grams divided by 16.27 milliliters. And I'm going to get a density of 4.6. You guys can round up to the tenths here, okay? So 4.6. Look at how precise that is. Now, ideally, I would do this same mineral, like different samples of it, at least 3 or 4 times and get an average to get a better number. But we're going to roll with what we've got here. I'm going to go ahead and do this other one so you can see. Okay. So dry this thing out here in between, get better results. Okay. There we go. Let that thing run out. Let's see what I'm doing here. Set up my new mineral. My new mass, this is number 9. I'm gonna just make a note of this. 108.22, so I 23, divided by what I come up with is in this next step. Rubber band. Rubber band around there. Okay, empty my beaker. Drying it out here. There we go. Now we're going to dip this thing again. This is the new one. It's a larger sample this time, but of course it would have higher mass, so it'll all still work out. Should anyway. Okay. New mass of the water. Get out of the way. 76.16. So 76.16 minus the 50.54, which was the mass of my original empty beaker. Let's work this out here. So 76.16 minus 50.54. Okay, this is gonna give me 108.23 divided by 25.62. 108.23 divided by 25.62 equals 4.2. So I'm going to put 4.2 here for this one. Okay. We're going to go ahead and do a couple more here while we're at it. We're going to do number 2 and number 8. They both had the same, they both had very similar streaks. Okay, number 2 was considerably softer than number 8. But let's see what we come up with here. So, we're gonna stick, let's start with number 2. Number 2 got its mass, 31.90. It's gonna be divided by something minus 50.54. Set this up.
That's number 1.
This one's got a hole in it. Might be able to hook into that. There we go. Oh. There we go, ready to go. And we're gonna do the dip. Okay. All right, 65.29. 65.29 minus 50.54 gives us 14.75. Now we've got to divide that. 31.90 divided by 14.75 equals 2.16, so 2.2. So for number 2, 2.2. Okay, I'm going to do one more so you can see the difference here. Okay, this is number 8, so that one was pretty low. I'll show you the numbers here in a second. You need to refill. All right, we'll reset this whole apparatus. In the meantime, we're going to get a new mass. This is number 8. My mass for number 8 is 120.30. 120.30 divided by something minus 50.54. It's just the mass of my beaker again. So we're going to dump the beaker. Dry the beaker. Set it back underneath the drip cup. Set my old rubber band back up here. I'll help you guys here in 1 second. There we go. Oh, that's not going to work. They held on there a little better than that. There you go. I think that's gonna hold. Dip that guy in there. Okay. Now, last step, we need the mass of the water. So that mass is 67.03 minus the beaker, which was 50.54. Gives us 16.49. So here's where we do our division again. 120.30 divided by 16.49. 7.3. Holy moly, that should be a dead giveaway as to what that one is. So this will give you a pretty good set to help you guys answer some of those questions. Jot down the answers that I've got there. 2.2 for number 2. Number 4 was 3. Number 7 was 4.6. Number 8 was 7.3. And number 9 was 4.2. That should be enough to go on along with your color, your streak, your luster, your hardness, the cleavage or fracture, other properties. You should be able to come up with the name. So the name is going to come from right in here. So it's one of these names. You can look at all those properties. Shouldn't use things more than once. There are obviously more minerals here than you actually did because we only did 9 of them, okay? Once you've done that, go online and there's a quiz for you to answer what each of these minerals are. See if you can get it right. All right.